Hello, everyone. Thanks for joining. We're launching some new tools that you can use to better understand your PBS award. Now, there's a lot you can do with these tools, and I'll highlight just a few. First of all, now you'll be able to find out if, in fact, that trip really did go senior. I'll show you how to search a particular sequence on a particular date and pull up exactly who held that trip and their seniorities. Another way that people like to use these tools are if you're transferring to another base, you may be wondering, can I hold a particular trip at that base? What are the seniorities holding that trip? I'll show you how to do that. Also, if you're a speaker, you may be wanting to transfer to another base that has better speaker flying for you. So you might want to see what are the seniorities of the speakers that are holding trips at different bases and make your decision based on that. Finally, I'll show you how to browse the awards of flight attendants close to your seniority at your own base so you can compare and see what are the types of trips other people at your seniority are holding. Now, with a little bit of effort, you can also do that at another base if you're thinking of transferring somewhere. We'll go through all of that. But first, here is the basic layout. We have line holder awards first. And followed by that, we're going to go over reserve awards. And last but not least, we have the base PDF awards. So in this case, we have all of the awards organized by base in a PDF format that you can search through. So going up to the top, I'll explain these a little bit more on how to navigate them. We have the table here has, each column has a title. And that actually corresponds to the titles and fields up here. Most of them are pretty self-explanatory, right? We have a employee ID, we've got a last name, base, seniority. This is system seniority. We've got sequence number, sequence dates, position, purser. Now, if you're going to enter a value into the purser file, it's going to be true. In other words, if you wanted to search for the pursers, you would type in true there and it will pull that up. And you see right here it says true now. So the most senior purser that we have at the company is this person in Charlotte, right? And then to remove it, you just delete, or you can hit clear filters as well. Now, these titles are a little more complicated. FA language 1 and 2, and then required language 1 and 2. If you look over here as well. So FA language are the language qualifications that the flight attendant has, whereas required language refers to the language required for a particular sequence. So if we think of this particular case here, if this person had a language qualification, it would appear here, and if this sequence number required a language, it would be listed here. All right. A few other things. You can search through the entire table here if you'd like. If these fields aren't enough for you and you're looking for something else that doesn't make sense with these, you can try searching here and it will display the results that pop up. And by default, we are looking at 10 entries here, 10 at a time, but you can change that. Maybe that's too much for you. Maybe you only want to see 5. You can click over here. It will display 5, or maybe you want to see 25. It's all up to you. Okay, one other thing to keep in mind, the dates. You see here, this is October, right? October 22nd. So you'll see the second number is the 10 corresponding to October. So all of the dates are in the format of day, month, and then year. So that can be a little confusing. All of the column titles are sortable, and you can sort them in ascending or descending order. Right now, we have everything sorted by seniority. If I click here, it will show us descending seniority. So this is the most junior person at the company right now. You can clear the filters at any time. You can also see which column is being sorted by ascending or descending by this little icon here, the little caret. You can search by sequence dates if you want, names, by base. So that's sorting the entire table. If you need to be a little more specific, We already gave the example of the pursers. Maybe I'm trying to find trips or wanting to just find information about the pursers in Miami. Okay, now these are all only Miami base is appearing here and only purser qualified flight attendants. So I can do whatever research I'm trying to do here. I'll get into more examples shortly of this. Okay, next we're going to talk about reserve awards. Very similar. We have the column titles, and then we have these fields up here that we can put entries into to try to sort better. What's a little bit different here, we've got the line, employee ID, base, languages, purser. The layer one is what layer this award came from, and then vacation is if they had any vacation days in there. Followed by that, we have all of the days of the months. Again, we're in October, so one would be the 1st of October, the 2nd of October, 3rd of October, and you can see the results there. So here we see the R corresponds to a reserve day. So this person is on reserve the 1st, 2nd, and 3rd, then they're off. The M is for off days. They're off on the 4th and the 5th. They're on reserve the 6th, 7th, 8th, the 9th, and so on. The V is for vacation. There's not a whole lot you can really do with these. Maybe you would want to sort by your base again. That's probably about all you can really do here, is just to kind of compare the reserve awards of other people at your base to get an idea. And then finally, we have the base PDF awards. So you can, I'm Miami based, so we'll go right over here to Miami again. And we have this little search icon, and you can pretty much put whatever you want in here. You can see I've already been doing this, and I put my employee ID number in there. So if I do this, it brings up my award. So this is what I held. And this is all in seniority order, so I can see who was the person just senior to me, what did they hold, and who was the person just junior to me, what did they hold. So I can kind of get an idea, what are the types of trips I'm either holding or could hold, didn't know I could hold, and now I just have more information. There's more transparency now. Okay, let's look at how to read these tables a little bit more. All right, we already talked about my award right here. And we see that this is the person that's just junior to me, and the one up above was the one just senior to me. Right here, we have that line number. This is 2041. The next one is 2042. This is my employee ID number. My award came from layer 2. I can use this little guy here so we see what that is, what I'm talking about a little bit more. It's coming from layer 2. The pay is pretty straightforward, time away from base, and the total credit. All of this is pretty straightforward, I think. Where it starts to get complicated are the actual sequences and how to read how this works, right? Up across the top here we have all of the days of the month, right? All of the dates. And then below that for each one we have the day of the week. So the first is a Saturday, the second is a Sunday, the third is a Monday, all of that, right? From there, let's look at this section right here. We've got a trip going on over here, right, on the 7th. This is the sequence number, 4071, right? And it is going to lay over in Tampa on the 7th, then it's going to lay over in Detroit on the 8th, and then it's going to come back to Miami on the 9th. And we can look over here, position is number 1. So I'm number 1 on that trip, and this all came from my layer 2 pairing pool, right? So if we come back and look at this number here, 4071, the sequence number, we'll see all of these numbers down below here. We'll find 4071 right over here, right? That's the sequence number. So the other numbers over here refer to the report, the release on the last day, and then how much the trip is worth, 1605. So I reported 802, releases at 9:31 on the 9th, and the trip pays 1605. So if we go to the first here, I have a turn on this day. This one's a little hard to read, right? Everything's all squashed together, but if we do this, it makes it a little bit easier, right? So on the first, I have sequence 3784, And right down below here, we've got it, 3784. It reports at 11:16, releases at 19:52, and it pays $5.57.